All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 4.
All right.
Boy. Yeah, we've had a solid start to Volume 7, Jacob.
We really have, and we're going back into that good old-fashioned slice of life stuff, but at
Atlas.
Atlas. I always get confused with that whole thing. Anyways, but potentially most importantly, I think Crow's getting shipped. Like this is a pre-packaged express.
I think that is a very correct assessment. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that it's more kind of accurate to say is they are doing their darndest to pair up our Aesops with as many of the characters in Team RWBY and Team Juniper so that we feel attached to them as they are definitely going to die at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, I love that one of them is essentially the puppy as well. Like they're literally setting up the puppy dog who are going to be
need to watch out for any furnaces. But yeah, so with where they're at now, they can kind of get back into the groove of things with more of the regular chill, everything going okay. But then at the same time, villains are very much making moves. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are, I would say, just kind of brewing with regards to the background and just kind of the general issues going on with Atlas and such. So looking forward to seeing what kind of stuff our characters are actually kind of required to be in part, participating in. And given that this recent one had to do with dust that was specifically going to be used for the vital, Amity Arena is the more accurate thing, 2.0 as a grand satellite, tower. I'm interested to see when they end up going into areas where Ironwood's like, that's internal stuff. We'll handle that. And then which things are like, oh no, you handle this. And then the Aesops will handle this. That's where I think we're going to get some interesting, fun kind of conflict there, or setup for conflict. You know what I'm really excited for, and I really hope happens. This would really put me back into the mode of this is kind of slice of life here at Atlas Academy.
Bunk beds.
No, yes, definitely, and Atlas's own style of bunk beds, whatever that would look like, collapsing into the wall or something like that.
Smart bunk beds.
Yeah, exactly. It's classes. And I would especially love to see if it was something where it's like, okay, now we know that technically you gals are, and Jean and Ren
and Oscar.
Well, Oscar gets training with Ironwood. Well, Crow's not going to go to classes, but the point is that they can go to classes, but have these be like, okay, we're going to put you in special classes maybe, where it's like where's
the Atlas Oobleck equivalent?
Right, exactly. That's something that I absolutely want to see.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that really seriously. I think
they'll do more just for a little bit.
I think they'll do more briefings and presentations more so than the actual classes. But I hold out hope for you that it will happen, especially if this arc for Atlas is longer than just this volume, which would be awesome. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Keep dreaming about a better world. You keep wishing for some clarity, not tragedy. Looking up at Atlas, being like, "I'm wishing for some tragedy," White's like, "What? What? What?" Blake's like, "Wait, what? What?" I am all for Saber Weiss, even though her hair is more like Elsa Weiss. Yeah.
Okay, imagine Weiss if she got a bob cut. Would that work? Like Blake's style haircut, kind of.
I would almost want more like short military
short,
cut.
like almost with some spikes or something.
What am I talking about? Let my queen be free. Anything, I would just want it to be just loose, just whatever she wants.
So more like Yang.
More almost. Like Yang,
yeah. Right, because it's not. It's that there's all this extra volume, but then it's also that it's just one big braid. It looks like it's a chala or something.
Just the muscles they put on Elm, the Aesop she's got definition.
I know, right?
Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, Damn, Rooster Teeth can do that now.
They need to put like an actual like.
Oh, that's true. We still have to introduce that character.
Right, but she's the leader of the.
Yeah, we got her name.
Movement.
Right, we got her name, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah. Keep moving forward. All right, let's go. Outpost 17B. We're just here in a box canyon in the middle of nowhere.
No, this is the ice planet. They time travel.
Oh, that's... Whoa.
The big ship.
That's a shot.
Oh.
Oh, that's already how far they are with building it?
I mean, it's really just the antenna on top that they need, but...
Okay, so, Recovery 1, bringing in getting the dust.
Yeah.
Nice! Tying things in directly from the previous episode. No, no time skip or anything. Ah!
You guys were incredible! Oh, the way you took down that Geist without needing to plan your tactics out, you just knew exactly what to do.
Yep, they're totally Team Levi.
These ops are hand-picked to perfectly complement one another. So we can focus on our assets and leave our liabilities behind.
Some of us are all asset, zero liability.
Wow.
Yeah? Think I've got some liabilities, Elm?
Your brains, for one.
The puppy dog.
All this talk
all
about,
heart.
like, things working well together and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like the hair. Oh,
Do you
yeah.
need a new best friend? Our pair name can be...
Ah! Thunder Thighs! Yes!
Complimentary teamwork. Oh,
That's great.
I want to have my friends' backs just like that.
Oh.
Friends.
Oh.
This isn't the schoolyard, kid.
Thunder Thighs! Yes!
But I mean, when you go through so much with someone, it kind of changes things, doesn't it?
We get along well enough, sure. I count on them to keep me alive. They do the same.
It's
That's a
professional.
job. We don't confuse the two.
Right, I got you. Because one of them could die. It keeps them from making the wrong decision in the heat of the moment, you know?
You all hang back a second.
But yeah, that is a little bit cold, you know?
Yeah.
It's
military,
What do you
though.
guys want to do when we get back to Atlas? Sightseeing? Oh, what should we visit first?
Slice of life?
How about our buds? Oh,
Bug
come on,
beds!
guys.
No,
This is a great time to go
Blake wants to
exploring.
go to
We haven't done that in
bed.
so long.
Ruby, we just explored a whole continent on foot before flying to this one.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was only the boring parts.
Ha! Wow.
Hey, heads up.
Can I get the team leaders over here? There's something I'd like to discuss with you.
Nice.
You too, Crow. I need you on the ground, but be subtle. If people see too many huntsmen milling around, they'll get nervous.
Okay. What's going
Clover,
on?
Don't take Marrow.
What?
New problems in Mantle?
More of the same, unfortunately. Someone in Mantle is taking out public leaders who speak out against Atlas.
Oh.
Specifically, people who speak out against me. It didn't look like a pattern at first, but this is the third murder of its kind in the last week.
And he's not doing that. That's Tyrion.
That's the guy that rode with us after we were arrested.
He died?
Your opposition in Mantle dropping dead isn't exactly a good look for you.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about my public image, but it is causing unrest.
Yeah.
I think someone's trying to frame me.
Yep.
By extension, Atlas. And it's working.
Well, if it wasn't for the embargo making everybody so mad, people probably wouldn't be so quick to blame you for everything else. Sir.
Wow.
No, you're right. Things in Mantle have been hard to manage lately.
I'm loving his voice
We're not
acting. He
blind
sounds
to
so
its
tired.
issues. In fact, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Okay, cool.
With the launch of this mobile communications tower and tensions down in Mantle, I think there's a lot of good your teams can do here. What? Already? Here? No, it's fine. Let him land. I'll deal with him myself.
More Mantle problems?
Jacques?
No.
Yeah.
This one's an Atlas problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that insignia. Oh boy. Weiss.
So let me get this straight, James. In addition to this nonsensical embargo of yours crippling my business, you've also decided you have the authority to commandeer private property. When the council hears about this, you will never...
Actually, I've already informed them. As this is now the site of a classified military operation, it didn't even require a vote.
Didn't require a vote?
You might want to brush up on council law before you lose this upcoming election, Jock.
Whoa.
Now, I've allowed you to land here once as a courtesy. The next time, it won't be a friendly reception.
Whoa.
Lately, you seem to forget who your friends really are. I'm going to get that council seat, James, and maybe then you'll... You.
Whoa.
You roped my missing daughter into these schemes of yours, too? How long has she been back in Atlas? Did Winter know about this?
It was my decision to come here. Just like it was my decision to leave. Or have you forgotten all about that?
If you think I'm one to forget anything, girl, then you've misjudged the man your father is.
Believe me.
Oh, this is good.
I know exactly the kind of man you are.
How dare you speak to me that way? I have half a mind to...
Half a mind to what, Jock?
You know, your mother was devastated when you left.
Oh. That shifted tone.
Didn't leave her room for days. You know how she gets when she's upset.
Yeah.
That's dirty. That's dirty.
I knew one day you would overextend your reach. I didn't come here to beg for an abandoned mine. I came here to thank you for personally handing me the noose to hang you.
Oh. Yeah, we're with you. We're with you.
You'll regret this. So these are the little friends you threw everything away for.
Not friends.
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Nice. Brilliant. That was a very fluid conversation. Props to the writing there. That felt very smooth.
Oh, now you show up. You just missed Father.
I wouldn't say I missed.
Oh my God!
Did we not start yet?
Apparently, we haven't.
Dead. Everyone is dead.
Yep. Oh, this is a big area.
It goes without
Training?
saying that this arena holds a significance to all of us.
Oh.
It's only fitting that we should be able to reconvene here, now, when the world needs to be brought together more than ever. The road you traveled from our first meeting hasn't been easy. You fought for your school and your friends at Beacon.
She's excited to present something.
You fought for the world and the innocent at Haven Academy and beyond. You faced down terrors people can't even fathom. That's not the behavior of students. It's the behavior
I love seeing the height difference.
and huntresses.
Oh, so he's officially making them huntresses and huntsmen?
Wait.
Wow.
What is this?
Just
You
boop,
are being
boop.
granted your huntsman licenses.
Wow.
Today.
I know this is coming a little ahead of schedule.
Casually
but your brothers
just...
know you deserve it. I only regret that I couldn't do something a little more ceremonious for the occasion.
Oh.
We're honored, General Ironwood. But you really don't have to do
Please, with the threat of Salem still out there, and tensions rising in our kingdom, I certainly could use more trustworthy fighters by my side. I should be so lucky to have all of you.
So trustworthy.
It's okay. It's a big moment. And what better way than to celebrate here? When this tower is ready and communications are back up and running, we'll tell the world about Salem and face down whatever comes at us after that. Together.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Ruby, do you want to...
Just about all the pomp I have in me. If you'll excuse me, I have to get back to running this operation.
Yeah.
Well then,
but
enjoy the cake.
Your speech outros are improving, sir.
Yay!
After everything we've been through, I
So
almost forgot this is what I wanted in the first place.
Now we're gonna have an eating montage.
I didn't
Cake.
think this would even be possible. It almost feels trivial now.
Right?
Jeez, guys, lighten up a little. Enjoy yourselves for a change. You've earned it.
Finally, someone said it.
Yeah.
Let's kill some cake, huh?
Yeah.
Kill some cake.
Slices before Ren even eats one. Who says I can't? Who says it, huh?
Nora, nobody is arguing with you about this.
Fine. 3 slices.
Oh
Nice.
my god, that
Wow.
this is precious.
Wow.
Because oh.
Huh, kiddo?
It's
Okay,
And
good.
the arm
a lot
stays
to
there.
take in.
Oh.
Which part? The finally getting the Atlas part? Getting your license part? Or the not quite disclosing everything to Ironwood part?
Yeah.
Or all of the above?
All of the above. I'm trying to do what I think is best, but I really can't tell if what's best is what's right. Or if I'm no different from Oz.
Ruby, Oz only trusted himself with the whole truth. You're trusting others, but you're making sure they prove themselves first. I think that's a pretty big difference.
It's
Sure.
small,
So-
but it is a big
Right.
difference.
And that makes
This
sense
says
how
what
Oz
I
was
just
able to
know.
lose it.
yeah.
You know.
But I don't feel like I know much more than I did at Beacon.
That feeling
Never goes away.
Yeah.
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 Your mom, Summer, would be proud of you.
Ow.
Can we have backstory time
Last
now?
mission. Was that another Oz secret?
There were a lot of those back in our day. But this one was a Summer secret. When she didn't come back, Osmond seemed just as in the dark as myself and your father.
Wow.
Still, who knows what he may have hidden from us over the years.
What do you think she would have done if she learned the truth about Salem? That she can't be destroyed.
Pressed on, I think. Like you.
Keep moving
She was
forward.
always the best of us.
Yeah.
Bit of a brat, though.
Ah!
Hey, I like brats.
Ah.
The character animation's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that a mission board? It's an app now? Can we write a megalodic? Stop an underground crime ring? Do I get to
Wow.
go undercover?
Undercover.
Hey, you guys smell that? Smells like fresh meat.
Oh.
That's odd. I don't smell meat.
I smell confections.
Neither do I.
You know what? Never mind.
Let me get this straight. You've only been official for an hour now, and you're already looking for huntsman work?
To be fair, we've been official for a whole 57 minutes.
I'd like to remind you all that the real mission here is ensuring the successful launch of the communications tower.
True, but we can also keep training and improving by helping where we can.
The enthusiasm of youths!
Well, it's hard to argue
Wait, how
with
old
that.
are you supposed to be?
Okay,
Yeah.
let me show you how it works. Ooh, here's an important one. Who wants to volunteer? All right. We need someone to escort children to pre-primary school down in Mantle.
Oh
There's
my god.
not actually any danger, but the parents fret, and that attracts Grim. Perfect. Thanks.
John kept his hand up.
Juan.
Juan.
Close enough, I guess. Wow. First huntsman mission.
Wow, they're pulling in so many jokes in this episode from like fandom things.
Loose in the Mantle sewers. We need 2 brave warriors to flush it out.
Hey, what?
Yep.
But why didn't I get a choice for that one?
All right, okay. Ooh.
Chess. How pretentious.
And we actually have correct number of
Father,
pieces
you,
distributed.
have a visitor.
Does he play with Shitley?
I told you I didn't want to be disturbed.
What?
Why did you let them in?
I didn't. He let himself in.
Yeah, it's Watts.
Yeah.
Spitting image of you, this lad, Jock. Creepily so, I might add. He's definitely inherited your...
Oh, he knows.
Affect.
Oh, this suddenly got a lot more interesting.
Whitley, leave us. And shut the door.
I will listen in on the other side of the door,
shut the door.
Father.
Oh, but that's cool. It's a side.
You're supposed to be dead.
That is what I wanted people to think, you're right.
Oh, that's why they don't suspect him.
However, I've heard things about you too, Jacques. Namely, that you have an ironwood problem.
That bastard is costing me more money every day with this embargo. I'd lay off every employee in Mantle if I wasn't trying to get their damn votes for this council seat.
Wow.
What if I said you could have your cake?
And eat it.
And eat it too.
Nice, nice.
Uh-huh.
All right, all right.
What if I said you could have your cake and eat Ren's too?
Oh, Nora's like, oh, you're approaching me.
Do tell.
I think this was
really good.
a fantastic
episode.
This
is great.
Like, oh my gosh. Magnets.
It's a horseshoe, Caleb.
Magnets!
It's a horseshoe.
I don't care. It's shaped like a magnet. All right.
I really hope little Shitley was listening on the other side of the door.
What's important here was we saw two things from Jacques. He cares for the safety and protection of his son. He was like, genuinely like, hey, I don't want you involved in this. Get out.
I figured it was just this is dangerous stuff. You know,
sure, but still,
yeah, potentially, yeah.
All right, well, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was really good. There were like so many little character interactions and stuff going on that it just felt like they knew we have an ensemble cast,
right? And
let's have our ensemble cast just be a fun ensemble cast.
Like, I feel like this was the equivalent of the previous episode, but without combat, right? But all of the things that episode did really well.
I know what you mean. Yes.
As far as like showcasing the nuances between the characters and
putting
things like that.
Putting a spotlight and then shifting it rather well and fluidly.
Right. Quickly shifting between them and feeling like it's staying consistent with who they are as people. Like the jokes that they did in this episode were fantastic. Penny, Nora, all great. You know, and even Jean's, you know, quirky, derpy kind of, you know, jokes. Like, they brought some of that back.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I honestly feel like I went and checked in the credits, and this is written by Eddie Rivas, and I can tell the difference because there is a marked bit of what I would call character quirk, like Easter egg fan service. No.
Sure, okay.
Like, it's actually a fun thing that I've seen I think in some of the other ones where he has been more involved. With like writing on the back end side of things. But I almost wanted to go through this episode with a fine-tooth comb, or at least ask him on Twitter or what have you, because I noticed tons of little fan jokes, things that aren't even that big of like popular meme jokes or what have you.
Oh yeah.
But just little things where you'd be like, wait a minute, are they kind of poking at that? Are they poking at that? And some of them were way more obvious than others.
Yes, like
there was the Volume 4 one that was like,
that was very on the nose.
That was very on the nose.
But then there's lots of things that they do with just people in the background doing stuff, right? So like, what's Dog Boy? What's
Marrow?
Marrow. Yeah. So you know him doing like the gun, you know. But then like Yang putting an arm around Blake, you know, and taking the selfies. But then we pan out later and we see that Yang is keeping her arm there after the selfie, you know. Selfies are stopping, right? You know,
I mean, those are pretty common things, but there were other ones where it would be like, you know, how does Jean's name pronounced?
Right? Yeah. Jean, Jimmy, yeah, or like, this is great.
Yes. Also, Thunder Thighs.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember who came up with the Nora joke. With the Thunder Thighs thing, that's like an old one because people were talking about like how strong Nora is,
right? And Thunder, even though she's, you know, small, but then you have this actual like, you know, swole lady, right? And so of course, like
Nora's like 5'2" or something, or 5 foot,
and she's like
3.
6'2" or
more.
or more. Yeah. Nora's probably like 4'11".
No. I think there were canon heights given out, and Nora is like just a little bit above 5 foot. Like she's like 5'2" or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I think they showed her height as well, and she's like 6'4" or something like that.
Yeah.
But
oh man.
There were a lot of little things also where the characterization was actually given in the dialogue, and then the other characters would react in a way that was like, yes, that's who you are. I acknowledge that. but what I am is this. And I think the dialogue felt like these little almost combat exchanges.
Right.
It felt very fluid, and even though I could tell that it was like a mechanical step-by-step bit of like how it was written, it just flowed rather well. So like I can't write dialogue. I just trying to preface that. I suck at writing dialogue. So when I see dialogue that I'm like, this feels good.
Yep.
This feels really good. I just have to shout it out. It's just so good job. Good job.
One of the reasons that I would say that kind of style really worked this episode, with them like commenting, and sort of remarking on, oh yeah, as sort of the as expected of so-and-so.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they didn't do it as an as expected, because usually when you have the as expecteds,
it's an anime
what
thing,
you're really getting is you're basically getting a, yes, period.
Yeah, there's no continuation.
There's no yes and. And in this, we had something where there were the remarks on it that brought their own flavor to the mix. And that's what's really crucial, because then it can jump from one to the other and one to the other, and you don't have to have it stop. You don't have to basically restart everything whenever you move to a different position or whatever.
Right. Right.
Position in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Ironwood is dealing with the fact that the mantle activists, essentially, political activists, are getting killed.
Which is brilliant as far as like evil plan.
As far as the bad guys doing something that they can't really be stopped from doing.
Right.
Like
and the thing is,
there's no easy way that they can counteract this move, because it's going to be on an individual level. It'll be broadcast to a cultural group level.
Oh yeah.
And even if Ironwood like makes a move of being like, I'm going to protect them, it's like, oh, like, it doesn't matter. This is happening either way.
And he can't really stop it. And the thing is, from the only like purpose that can be read into from this is that they're trying to frame him. Because otherwise, like, they don't know who's doing it, which is, one part of the complication, but there's no rhyme to it other than that they're trying to frame him. These are just random people. Right, and you can't possibly make sure that no one in Mantle is ever killed. Right, like
they've already got their totalitarian 1984 cameras everywhere super state,
right. And even
then people are getting killed.
Right,
that is how strong our villains are.
Yeah.
So it makes them feel like a threat in a way that doesn't incur harm to our heroes in a direct physical way, but a way of, oh crap, our main ally in this area, Ironwood, is going to get slowly chipped away at his foundation, so that when chaos happens, he will have less of a grounds to make moves. And it's like, okay,
and that's something that I am so happy for, because it's a way of basically, because Ironwood, with the way he's been set up, is someone that is in a position of immense power.
Yes,
right?
Immense.
Right, immense power. And the thing is that when you have someone that is in that sort of situation where the Atlas military really is that insane, you either do something where, sorry, it actually doesn't mean anything, and it's useless against the Grim, which is kind of lame, right?
It's very anticlimactic.
It's anticlimactic. What's the point of building them up as this big military then? But you also, if you have it be something where then the leader is the problem, like, completely, and, and there are scary things like, oh yeah, I don't need to bring it up to the council because it's considered a, basically a black ops mission, right?
Yeah.
So that's just how it goes, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Even though it's the law, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good idea,
And there's definitely reason for that. You don't want to have some public meeting and vote on, like, do we do this super secret thing, right? You don't want that. But there's complications that can arise because of that. And when people, doubt whether he's capable and should be in control, that is definitely something to be brought up. And the fact that they're doing it where basically we're having something where Ironwood is in a position where there's a limitation to what he can do, right? And yet they're not doing it in a way that causes that is a result of melodrama. Because it's not that Ironwood suddenly turned into some, dick dictator, right?
Right.
Where it's just, oh, I can't trust anybody, and you
guys
He's
a guy that means well.
Yep.
But he has his own flaws that cause him to make little, I would say, slip-ups in judgment or just oversight.
And the thing is that the big problems are not actually something that is a result of his flaws.
Right.
There's something that, when added with the other things that from his and this which puts Ironwood in a good light of being smart, because he's like, yes, I know that these are things that need to be solved, but that's a manageable amount of discontent and whatever, they kick me out after this is done, but I'll be able to do my job and then be done with it, right? But because of this other stuff that he can't stop, right?
Yes.
sorry, you're probably gonna be going a lot sooner. And that's something where he can still be working with our protagonists
and not be undermined as a character.
Right, not be undermined as a character.
For the sake of the conflict of the plot.
Right, and yet absolutely be undermined as far as his ability to influence the plot because of what the bad guys are doing. It's something where it builds up both sides basically at the same time.
Yeah. There are so many times in stories where you have an antagonistic and protagonist force basically colliding at each other, and in order to basically provide a means by which the conflict doesn't ruin either side too much, especially the extremes of where the main characters on both sides are kind of the ones that you are like, oh, we can't touch them or ruin them. We prop up other characters in the middle and basically sacrifice them on the altar of making those characters on the other sides of the extremes have opportunities for cool plot development. Oh yeah, and I would say that is like just quintessential like lazy writing. It's not necessarily bad writing; it's just lazy.
Yeah, the rules are meant to be broken, but because it's an artistic medium. But one of the other
characterization is not always as hard cut for a lot of characters.
Right, exactly. There could be a situation where that absolutely makes sense to have happen.
Yep.
Also, in this case, it's a situation where because the big organizations, the big, the armies and the countries and things like that fall apart, then it's something where it actually makes sense for the mantle of responsibility and duty, and we need to, and basically someone has to do something to fall on the shoulders of the protagonists, right? Because everyone else has truly been divided, right? And it's because of Salem's machinations and everything, not just because the characters are stupid.
And people are scared.
Yeah, and people are scared. So it totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have our situation here. We've got him now, realizing that he's going to need people to be kind of investigators, right? Now, before he can even give out that mission there, suddenly a wild Jacques appears.
Yep.
And I love that Jacques is basically like, okay, I'm tired of being basically, in some ways, kind of cock-blocked by Ironwood, which I love that image of the big Iron Daddy just being like, Jacques, no, you shall not pass. So he comes here personally, which I also love the audacity of it, of him being like, okay, like, he'll take me seriously because it's me. And then there's the added irony of like, oh, by the way, you get to bluster and kind of rant a bit while your daughter's like right there watching this whole thing. And he goes for a bit before he even realizes she's there.
Which is great as far as just speaking to Jacques as a character.
Right.
And then also Weiss with how much she's changed. When he's not actually like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Didn't even recognize her.
Right. For a split second, he goes, wait a minute, she's here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And now his interactions with her felt very much like, I would say, kind of what we've come to expect from Jacques. And while he did definitely shift into, oh, this is my manipulative voice. And it was like, okay, it's not subtle or anything.
Right.
But the fact that what he was saying was something that I would, if I was able to put myself into Weiss's position, that would be the most effective, underhanded, below-the-belt, cruel weapon to use, is that, hey, I know I don't have control over Winter. You don't care at all about Whitley. Like, I mean, you do, but I'm not going to, like, that's not what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the one that's actually one that'll hurt you.
It's the Zuko and the Fire Lord, and it's the nothing you say will get me to, like, I know that you're, that to not listen to anything you say. And yet the person's like, yeah, but I have something that it doesn't matter if you know that I'm a shitty liar and all that stuff. This will work. This will get to you.
Yeah. And then they have their moment of, don't worry, Weiss, we're with you in this. And then he comes back, so these are the friends. And you're able to, not because the writing is predictable, but because it's what should be said here. There were multiple points where you were predicting the lines as they were coming. I was predicting the lines, and it's just like, no, this is just good writing.
Right. And the reason that like the family thing is not just like a cliche or whatever is because it's the perfect slap in the face for Jacques.
Because he was trying to use her family against her.
Exactly.
Just in the previous scene.
Because he is family, and the fact that he said, oh, well, if you're going to go do your thing, then you're not part of this family. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I got my own family. And you got nothing on me.
Now, I also really love the bit where Winter's like, oh, good, he's gone. I showed up. And we didn't even get the punchline for this joke. This is something that I think was absolutely perfect. We already know the punchline for it the minute we see Winter's face kind of come out and be like, she's like, I hate that guy. I have like built my life so that he does not exist in it. It's wonderful. But then she also like has this thing of like, okay, crap. Okay, wait, he's gone? Okay, cool. Let's drive out here. And then before we can even get into the, well, it's not that I missed him, suddenly, but Penny just...
Yep.
It's them basically just bombastically saying like, oh yeah, what, pacing? All this stuff? No, we're just gonna have fun this episode.
And the idea that Penny actually, like that made me think of like Kill la Kill, where they have like letters, but then they're actually like casting shadows in the shot, or people are leaning on them and whatever.
Right.
Because in this situation, Penny is actually using her aura to generate the word congratulations.
Now, it might have been specifically a thing from her, I mean, it might not be her aura, but
I think it's her aura.
Because it has the hollow graphic technology kind of look as well.
But it's like the color of her aura and everything.
But they literally also took them up to the prototype of the new Amity Arena, into the actual the Amity Arena Coliseum, into the actual arena part of it there. With Penny now alive, everything being there, and giving them their hunter's license. And there's a very clear part where Ironwood is like, yeah, we don't have to talk serious stuff right now. Now, I want to know if you noticed this, but he's very much doing this as like, guys, I'm on your side. I'm doing everything I can. This is obviously a trivial, silly thing probably to you guys, but it means a lot to me that I acknowledge you for all the work that you've done. And no one probably has praised your efforts for all of that.
Right.
So you deserve this. Just take this and enjoy it. And while, yes, Ruby, you're not extremely subtle about this, I love how it also, as he's talking about trustworthiness, it pans over to the right, and there's these little looks they all kind of give Ruby one by one. And then there's this look, you gotta get this. Like, get your headphones in here. Like, this is one where he can literally tell that they're...
Oh yeah, right. And that's what I love about it, is that he's not stupid. He can clue in that they don't fully trust him.
Right. So more trustworthy by the other side. Then they all do the look around at each other. The kid's like, oh, does Dad know that we didn't tell him about the cookies we ate? And then
straight up.
And then he realizes they're all quiet, and he's doing the awkward dad thing of like, oh.
And he looks straight at Ruby.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a big moment.
And the fact that first thing he said is, it's okay. Right. It's like he's literally saying, he's like, no, I get it.
I get it.
I've been around the block. You think I'm not used to, like, you think, like, I kept things from Osmond. Osmond kept things from me. I keep things from Crow. This happens.
This is part of the job.
It's totally fine. And since I'm the mature adult one here, I'm putting the foot forward and saying, yeah, no, I totally get it.
Right.
It's all good.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he also does the most bumblingly adorable, awkward dad, yes.
So
have a good, enjoy your cake, and yes, goodbye.
That's all the pomp I have for one day.
Yeah. And then Penny with the adorable, like, your outros are improving, sir. Like,
that was just awesome. Like so the writing for this whole episode was absolutely incredible, right?
Yeah, it felt really good.
I have to say though, it is not just the writing. The writing is phenomenal, right? It's also the character animation that adds to the writing.
Yes, I definitely think it is a presentation thing where we need to give praise where praise is due.
Because the thing is, there's all the writing that's basically setting up these possible things to happen, but because of how the writing is not being super explicit with a lot of things that it's saying, right? In some cases it is, but in a lot of cases it's letting the audience, clue into what's going on. So then having all these little expressions on the characters' faces, body language, everything, all within a good context, right?
Not just the one talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes it so that when these kinds of things happen, it is crystal clear what's going on, and yet the show is basically giving you the respect that basically all of this stuff will not be lost on you.
Right. There's writing in the past that I would say RWBY has done, because it was, as a younger show and it's still figuring out its wings and stuff, where it would be talking down to the viewer because they need to make sure that we get the message across. And they've realized, of course, over the long course of time, they've just gotten better and better at writing stuff. And especially in this volume, I've noticed, because they're now letting other people take the reins every once in a while for the writing stuff here, this writing doesn't feel like we're being talked down to. Like, there are definitely some jokes that don't land in the most dramatic of way because they're more kind of ha 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 silly.
But even then,
like,
they land way better than a lot of the previous jokes we've had in like recent RWBY.
Right, because they don't have to have everything be about this just grand punchline. There's little stuff going on in the background here.
Yeah, exactly. It's never fully dependent on what may just be a stupid, silly joke. Because then they can have that stupid, silly joke, and it's fine. Because if that, for some reason, you don't find funny, that's okay. There's other stuff happening, right?
Right. I like how the Aesops are, having that little bit of a contradiction of, yeah, we're not kids, and we're not friends, we're associates.
Right.
We are partners in this professional military black ops operation kind of thing there.
Which is
now
really,
not black ops necessarily, but they are the ace operatives. They're the ace operatives.
Yeah.
So of course they don't see it in the friends kind of way, but then when they see the friendship dynamics of this group here, they totally egg that on.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, you guys, you and your youthful energy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we ham it up with this part here.
Right. It makes me think that basically like they work together now, but they didn't like go through basic training together, right? It's the idea that like they were all handpicked.
Selected.
They were selected because they were incredibly good each individually at their thing, and then they were brought together for this to be a part of this group. And they're like, yep, we're now SEAL Team 6.
Yeah. But they have like each 20 years of life that happened before this.
Right, exactly.
That had nothing to do with each other.
And yet they recognize that energy because they're like, oh yeah, these are the people that you started this journey with.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. We get that. We're not exactly like that with each other. We're all like, certified badasses with licenses to kill and whatnot that, just work really well together, right?
Right. Now we have the plot breaking Dr. Watts kind of I just walked into your secure mansion.
Which I love.
Okay.
So
as far as questions that it asks, we'll get answers maybe later. But the idea that this is what makes him scary is, and why probably Salem recruited him, is what I like. Is that in terms of a threat that is meant to be taken seriously, we take someone who is already someone we're antagonistic towards, Jacques, and we make him but I would say Whitley is less of an antagonistic force in that regard. He's just more of a dick, you know. But the fact that Jacques like literally like has his balls shrink up into his stomach when Watts comes in and has this moment of like, oh wait. This is someone who literally could kill me probably right now.
Yep.
And I need to be careful about this.
Yeah.
I don't know how he probably set up his mansion security-wise, but I'm guessing that Watts did something that basically is more scary than what he feels like he could do to Whitley or him there. Like, he's not worried from like a physical standpoint. He's like, oh wait, crap, if you can get through my security here, how secure is my business? How secure is the Schnee Dust Company from people that can do this?
Yep.
Like
everything, he's recontextualizing his entire world here, and I love because so we have said before many times, and I know I have definitely said this personally. I love when antagonistic characters get brought together and they're antagonistic towards each other.
Yep.
Because it creates this spider web of possibilities that you can take the characters on, and it's sides of the characters that you never would have seen before.
Yep. Very true.
Because with antagonistic characters, usually they're just going forward from a position of strength to antagonize because
the protagonist,
the protagonist, and not just because it's those darn kids, but because they have some goal that they're trying to achieve, right?
Right, and that goal is just
exactly. But they're rarely attacked because that's not considered something usually, oftentimes, heroic for the good guys to do, right?
Sure.
But when you have antagonists with antagonists, and both of them are okay with playing dirty, then suddenly they have a different ball game that they need to play,
right?
Because there's the ball game that they play with the good guys, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes they can play a very different ball game because they know they can do things that the good guys can't do or won't do or whatever, right?
Right.
But in this situation, he shows up. And like you said, Jacques tells Whitley to get out of there, like he's protecting him, like for sure. Like I didn't really think about it at first, but then it's like, oh no, that totally makes sense, right?
He's also potentially saying like, hey, you're my son. recognize that this is a threatening situation.
Yes.
And be smart.
Right, exactly.
Whatever you do, just do it smartly and don't do it smart and don't do it here.
It is a wonderful level of complexity that is put into here, because here Watts shows up unannounced and he walks in like he owns the place. And Whitley, little Shitley, knows that, right? Like he may be a little shit, right? But he's smart and he sees this. Jacques confirms it and says, "Go. I got this. I got this under control," which is a level of like loyalty within the family that we have until now not seen from like the Schnees, at least from as far as Jacques is concerned, right?
Right. He definitely has shown in this episode that he would rather do things himself, which definitely feels like it could also be translated through this. We might be giving him a little bit too much credit in this regard here. But yes, this shows that he has his priorities definitely set with his and his own.
Right.
And Watts coming in here basically saying, "Hey, what's yours is mine." And what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And then he comes in here with the offer. The offer that you can't refuse, right? So I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Watts is a character that we know nothing about motivation-wise. We know nothing about what he is. So until we actually know his motivations, we can kind of have him be just a plot chaos conflict orb of just like, I create problems and story.
Right.
Because he's not really a person with motivations yet.
Well, we know his motivations as far as his allegiances with Salem. We don't know his motivations as far as his personal motivations.
Personal stuff is what I'm more talking about.
And that's what can make him so dangerous, because he can do in this world that's set up, right? We have yet to see something that he can't really do. Right?
Well, he's not a fighter.
Yeah, he's not a fighter, but within his domain of expertise, he is unrivaled. He is unrivaled as far as we've seen.
As far as we've seen, yeah.
So if he wants to do something, he can do it. Right? So the fact that we're not entirely sure what he wants, and Jacques isn't entirely sure what he wants and what he's after and stuff, that makes it so much more entertaining.
Right. We did have moments where he didn't obviously get what he wanted within Volume 5.
Right.
That was more of just Cinder kind of blundering ahead, and he's like, "Hey, this is a stupid plan."
Right. Something where his words didn't suffice. But when it comes to what he can do with manipulating like technology and stuff, especially in Atlas... Yeah,
this is the guy that caused the fall of Beacon. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
Like, definitely he was doing things maybe with a little bit more help than that.
Right.
Obviously he had Cinder and everyone on the inside, but this is the guy that instrumentally wrote that.
So
he wrote that script.
Right, exactly. I wrote that program. So the amount of like tense, just electric energy in this scene is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that we would, because even if we still know that Jacques is a douchebag, right?
Yeah.
There's still this part of us that is like, I kind of hope everything goes okay for him here. And the idea that something would be introduced that would cause us to think that is just crazy. And the fact that...
And the only sacrifice they need to make is the logical leap of how he got in here.
Right. And that's all just building up the mystery and enigma of how powerful he is in the situation.
Yep.
And the fact that also, yes, there was the distinction of, I'm going to be here, Whitley, you are not going to be here. It's, again, seeding that idea of, what is Whitley going to do? Now, maybe nothing in this situation, but the idea...
Maybe he'll listen in.
Maybe he'll listen in. Maybe he'll do whatever. But the thing is, he is a smart person with agency, and he is currently the heir to the Schnee Empire. So...
Well, the company, but
Right. But
the state,
it's...
all that jazz.
It's an empire.
It's kind of
an empire.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get that much money. Okay, so... We got the Aesops. They were given a little bit more characterization here. We saw how they're different from Team RWBY and Team Juniper and all that. We have them getting their Hunters and Huntresses licenses. Yeah, exactly. That's such a small thing as far as plot goes, but it's like, oh, right. I like that it comes from someone who is actually an official, headmaster of a school. So it feels legit. What's also kind of exciting about that, at least from a storytelling perspective, though, is it puts them on equal grounds with a lot of the characters that have been considered like the professionals. All the adults now have this okay, Crow, Huntsman. Yes, he has experience on them.
Definitely.
But in terms of position, in terms of role,
Yeah.
equal.
And one of the things
There's a lot of exciting things that can go with that.
Right. Specifically with the fact that there's a lot of red tape they won't have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
What's great about this is that even if Ironwood gets deposed, right?
Sure.
And let's say he gets completely thrown out.
Right.
They will still be huntsmen and huntresses in Atlas.
Yep.
They can still do stuff. They don't have to worry about a lot of the things that they, up till now, have had to worry about.
Yeah.
Because they're legit.
They're legit. And even if, the hierarchy of Atlas shifts around a bit, even if, chaos goes down and stuff like that, these little missions that they're also teasing that they could end up doing could end up being the groundwork for their position in Atlas being one that goes beyond the good graces of Ironwood.
Right.
It could be something where they actually start being recognized in the streets of Mantle.
Yep.
The people in Atlas going like, this is awesome. These people were from Vale. The people from Vale, the ones that had all that crazy stuff happen to them, and now they're here helping us.
Yep.
When we caused all that crazy stuff to happen. I mean, it wasn't our fault, but it was our tech that did all that.
Right.
It's a cool bit of where we can have little things that the characters do have rippling consequences in ways that will affect characters down the line.
And now there is an actual legit plot line with proper tensions and consequences established that if they wanted to investigate and do more of like a second half of volume 2 kind of style, story, they totally could, which is find out who's killing these people, and so that it can be known that it's not Ironwood. If they were able to get some proof or whatever that there's actually some crazy person,
Scorpion
person that, and they're gonna let the news be known about Salem. Well, okay, we also know that this person is an operative of Salem. Boom, then we can have this scheming machination, which is pretty terrifying, because if this goes through, a lot of bad stuff can happen. We could let that potentially be put to rest or not. It all depends on how they want to take it.
It also makes sense now why we've had set up by the guy who died, I think his name was Forrest, if I remember correctly, why he was setting up the other...
the leader of the group?
The leader of the group, I'm trying to...
I don't
remember her name. But she specifically is in the OP at multiple points.
Yep.
So her grassroots movement being one that will be in direct opposition and maybe funneling a lot of the frustrations or antagonism or whatever towards Ironwood leads there to be a good communication tool for our protagonists to then use to distribute the information that actually things are legit, and we have a little bit more information on this, especially since we see in the OP Crow and her fighting off Tyrion in the streets of Mantle.
Or was Crow fighting her and Tyrion?
No, I think it was very clearly the two of them fighting Tyrion. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always thought it was the opposite.
Money on that. I can just show you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just bring it up here. It was in the end. See?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, I can just do this, but yeah.
Yep, okay.
It's very clearly...
Yeah, okay. Yep. They're both fighting off Tyrion. Okay, cool, yeah.
And then if, Tyrion makes a blunder in that regard...
That would actually be something that would work...
in the hero's favor.
In the hero's favor more so than just the status quo being maintained. Because then it's, yes, there is an insidious evil out there that is working to destroy us all.
Yeah.
And they thought that this is someone that they were worried about.
Right. Right. Now, there definitely might need to be some changes still made.
Definitely.
And they might still need to cover a few more parameters with regards to how bad the fallout in Mantle will be when they enact the plan.
Definitely.
Because there's still a lot of people there.
Yes. But if they have the people, on their side.
On their side, yes.
Then that is... because Salem's whole thing is, divide them.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the things that I think would be really cool is that RWBY is definitely a very fictional world that does not translate over perfectly to the current events of things going on right now. And while RWBY as a show will definitely get topical at times, as I think it definitely should, there are going to be points. There are going to be points where I think it would be cool to showcase some hope for the future of RWBY as a show in a way that might even be topical. Way that's here's some interesting ways where you can showcase how things could be handled better in a way and have them actually work. Like, have them work in a way that goes beyond just the we'll agree to disagree, but like the, hey, look at this image. This is a good image of something working out. And while our protagonists have had a lot of wins, I would say more wins than more kind of generally things moving in the better direction than L's from like volume 3.
Right.
I think that maybe you don't have to go all the way there, because we are probably due for Salem to be reminded, or us to be reminded about how
powerful,
terrifying Salem is.
Right, because
now we know everything about it for the most part.
If they're setting up this much for Atlas, and Atlas is essentially the second Beacon. Well, Beacon didn't turn out too well, so but they can have. But the thing is that because that's already happened, they can have it go a bit of both.
Right. You could unify people in a way that's really cool. But you could still have them lose.
Right, exactly. Like there are tons of things that can happen here, and I am so excited to see it.
And it feels like they're taking their time. Yep. So great job, RWBY.
It feels like a return to form.
Yeah, it feels really good, and it does feel like they took elements that worked from volumes and blended it together, and they created their new package here with all the extra presentation here.
Yeah.
And it's
a lot of extra
good.
Presentation, a very shiny package.
Yeah. So way to go, RWBY. Way to go. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. It was quite the episode.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out the next episode's reaction and discussion. Link is in the description below for our Patreon. We do a special thing where we do timer-based reactions if you have a Rooster Teeth First membership. So go just sync up your footage with our reaction there so you can check it out right now and be involved with the discussion of things. Like on our Discord, which if you're any level Patreon supporter, you get access to that. You can chat with us about stories in general, all kinds of stuff there, like specifically Jacob's book that he wrote.
That's
pretty
right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Segues are a thing.
Yeah.
So my sci-fi novel, it's called Battle Lines, is pretty awesome, and it's available for purchase on Amazon in both hardcover and ebook. The link is in the description below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.